Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. We are on episode, what is this, 13 of the series? And it's going on pretty well. In the last episode, we saw the end of the Iron Age, and this is the beginning of our new age, which was symbolized by this. As we head on over to Europe, we see that it is divided between three main religions now, plus Finland's little thing that they're doing. And yeah, this will be very important in this age as it's going to divide up what this is like going to happen between these two sides of the yellow religion. Now, what is this new age? Well, this is the classical age. It's a lot different from the version we had in our timeline, because in our timeline we had empires like Rome around this time, but we don't. And instead, this classical age will be primarily focused around two different countries on the side of each of these religions, as well as a few other countries scattered around the globe who will be rapidly progressing throughout the next few episodes throughout this little arc of the series. And instead of starting out with those, we're going to start off over here in Northern Europe because Finland has just completed their claiming of their northern territory here. As, I mean, there's nothing holding them back from expanding into it now. And yeah, this is going to be the new shape that Finland will go ahead and take on. Looks very similar to Wixo Finland, I know, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. There are going to be resemblances everywhere. This is just one of them. And yeah, it's Finland, so it's not that big of a deal, right? Right? Anyways, now exactly to what this age is about, we head on over to the Yellow Team, who is going to go ahead and launch an invasion of the island country of Sardinia, and this invasion will be pretty quick, as the Yellow Team will make very quick work of this state that used to be a part of them. It rebelled against them at some point, and yeah, now it's going to be a part of them again. I have bugs flying around me, unfortunately. So, yeah. Anyways, from here, we're going to head away from them and head on over to these guys over here who I am forgetting to add major cities for. I've been meaning to do that, but I mean, yeah, anyways, I don't want to lose these cities, and as you can tell what's about to happen, these countries are about to get absolutely obliterated off the face of this map. And the Greek country will be doing this, as Greece will send their forces into the Albanian country, and they will very quickly collapse this country in full, and they're going to go ahead and fully annex the Albanian state. And yeah, bye bye Albania. Now, jumping right on back to the Italian kind of thing here, we need to talk about alliances because the Square Alliance is a pretty large alliance and it's pretty formidable, and it's kind of blocking the Yellow Team from its expansion, all but in one area. And this area is the Dark Blue Team, who has a very small border with the Yellow Team, but the Yellow Team will be utilizing this. They will send their forces in and they will go ahead and start the invasion of the Dark Blue country, quickly taking their coasts and then Black Capital. From here, we're going to see this country fully collapsing. And at this point, we're going to see the Yellow Team going ahead and annexing a large portion of this country. And yeah, bye bye, because that is now a part of the Yellow Team. And another arrangement of this peace deal is that this thing's not allowed to join the Square Alliance. And I mean, that probably makes sense because you don't like the Square Alliance. It's kind of blocking you from expansion. Anyways, leaving those guys behind, we head on over to this little mess that we created in the last episode because it's going to be explored around. These guys have been doing a lot of exploring. And yeah, we're going to see a lot of these Asian countries expanding as they haven't gotten that respect in that regard because a lot of these countries have kind of been doing nothing, and we're going to start off with these countries, which we literally just formed. Starting off with the state that technically started it all, this thing, they're going to go ahead and expand southward into the Chinese region here, and they will take on this new shape here. It's not much bigger, but it is definitely bigger than their previous territory was. From here, we're gonna head on over to the Teal Chinese country because they're gonna kind of outline the borders of the other two countries as they don't want these guys expanding down to them. And they're gonna stretch all the way down to this border here with this light pink country here. And at this point, we're gonna see this new border getting created, which will give the dark blue country this land, and it will give this weird goldish country this land here. And yeah, that's three of the countries in this region done. Now we move on to this green thing, which is going to go ahead and get access to a lot of this land to the south of them. And yeah, from here we move on to this weird colored thing here, which will get a lot of land over in this region here. From here, we can tell that this little brown guy has been completely cut off. Um, they're probably not going to do anything, if I'm being real here. So don't be surprised if they're gone within the next few episodes. Anyways, from here, we're going to look at this weird bluish thing here because they're going to go ahead and expand upon their northern areas here. As, I mean, who wouldn't expand along a perfectly suitable lake for a civilization here? This is probably the most suitable region for a civilization out of this entire general region with all these different tiny countries here. So they probably have it best off. And then there's this weird thing here that is probably like really underpopulated, but it's gonna do a lot of expanding. I mean, I want to put it past them. They're gonna take on this shape here as yeah, they're gonna expand quite a lot for their size. This will prompt the Korean country to expand up northward, cutting off the golden country once again, but also it's gonna force the Korean border all the way up into this region here, which is much further than it was before. The Koreans are slowly growing and growing, becoming a very key power in East Asia. From here, we are going to talk about this guy because he's actually not even going to be doing much expansion because can't do much expansion because this area is cold and you can't really explore into it as well. So they're just going to be looking like that for now. From here, we move on to these two, which yeah, they're not working with much here, so let's change that, as they're going to explore north and south more so instead of like west, but they will explore west. I don't want this to be connected quite yet, so we're not going to do that. But yeah, we will go ahead and see this area here getting explored, and we're going to see these countries taking on completely new borders, which will look something along the lines of this for the pink country. And for the orange country, they're going to take on borders a little in line with that, but not entirely, as they will look something like this, a lot smaller, and that's because they are definitely a lot less populated. From here, we're going to move down to the South Chinese region because these countries want to expand. They've been kind of locked away from that. They've been growing their population slowly and waiting for the opportune moment to do so. Starting off with this darkish kind of blue country down here, they're going to expand quite a bit, sending their expansionary forces into these regions here and claiming them. From here, we're going to see this red country expanding into a lot of the region over here. And as well as that, they're going to move a little north, kind of in spite of the purple country, but they don't really care. From here, the purple country will slightly expand. They don't have the capabilities of expanding all too much, so they're just going to try their best. And from here, we're going to see the teal Chinese country completely wrapping around the purple country. And at this point, they have officially solidified themselves as the strongest Chinese state and will prove that once again by expanding even further out westward. And this will be the new western border of China as they now reach all the way past this region here. And yeah, East Asia is looking pretty good. Let's talk about Southeast Asia here because the Vietnamese country has been putting some work in on their land claiming as they now claim all this land here up to whatever this region up here is called. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what it's called, nor do I know much about it. I'm pretty sure it's mountainous, but who knows. But we're going to see this region getting divided between the countries here, and the weird Limish country will be gaining this chunk right here. And from here, we're going to see this Thai country annexing up to kind of where the Myanmar country annexed, just a little more eastward. And finally, we're going to see the Vietnamese claiming this border here, which will actually create a nice border to look at on their northern side. And that is Southeast Asia fixed for now. The Vietnamese country is looking a lot like French Indochina right now. From here, we head on over to the Malacca kind of thing because they're going to go ahead and continue on their expansion as now they will claim the entirety of Sumatra as well as a whole coastline on Borneo. As well as this, we're going to see them exploring the entirety of the island of Borneo as well as the entirety of the island of Java as well as a few more islands down this island chain here. And at this point, their naval exploration is definitely much farther beyond what we've seen. And yeah, they're gonna find out about Sulawesi soon enough. They're gonna find out about the Philippines up here soon enough. And from here, we're gonna see these guys beginning to explore a lot of this area, and eventually China in the north will discover the Philippines as well. At this point, we move on over to Japan where similar things happening, as Korea will go ahead and claim the rest of the mainland island, as well as a larger chunk of the island of Hokkaido, as this thing is a little less valuable in the eyes of the Koreans, so they're not really focused on claiming it. Anyways, from here, we're gonna leave those guys behind and head back on over to the Greek country here, because they're gonna continue on their expansion. And do I even need to? The Greeks will launch an invasion into the Macedonian state, and they will very quickly gain full control over it. This poor country had 0 seconds to react, so yeah, bye bye, country. Anyways, we're gonna head on over right next door to Anatolia, where these countries will see this happening and they are going to begin to panic. And so we're gonna see something that these two countries were never planning on, but it's gonna happen anyway out of fear. And this is a union between the green and blue countries here. They will take on the capital of the southern, I think it was blue country. I already forgot the color. But yeah, we're gonna see these guys taking on a new capital, a new color, a new country, new government, just out of fear of the expanding countries around them. And yeah, that's for a good reason because these countries have a lot more influence because of their technological advances. Countries like the Dutch thing over here are behind in terms of technology to countries like the yellow team now, because these guys are rapidly progressing, and it's like how the Baghdad House of Wisdom was a very important place, and it was obviously in Baghdad. It was kind of a center. That's kind of how these two are, and these guys are kind of supplying their knowledge into those banks, and they're not receiving it as well. It's more so benefiting these two rather than everyone. And it's like a divergence in technological upgrade. Like iron was available everywhere. It's more similar to the Bronze Age where bronze wasn't available everywhere. And we saw the Brittany country kind of like get a head start against the Dutch country because of it. And then the Iron Age happened, and then the exact opposite happened. And yeah, from here, I do want to talk about the alliances a little because I feel like I kind of did this without really going into it. And yeah, let's talk about the Diamond Alliance really quickly because we're going to see something major happening here. And this is them losing a member. The Green Team, they don't see a point in being a part of this alliance anymore. They saw the collapse of the Brown Team through, and they don't see a point in remaining in this alliance. And from here, we're going to see these two countries remaining in the alliance, but they're going to kick that guy out, and they're going to add a new country in the place of this little guy down here. And this country will be none other than the country of this tiny thing here. It's just a tiny irrelevant country, but they're going to join up with the Diamond Alliance anyways, because the Green Team is probably about to get them. And this will make the Green Team mad because the Green Team was definitely out to get them. So, yeah, you're making your old ally mad at you. Good for you. Anyways, moving on to our next alliance, we see the Triangle Alliance, where absolutely nothing has happened here other than the size of the shapes not really matching for two of the countries. But I mean, that's fine, right? Anyways, we move on to the Circle Alliance, where we're going to see one change here. and that is that we're going to see the Galician country leaving this alliance. They don't see a point in remaining in it. And from here, we get to the major alliance because something bad will be happening in the Square Alliance. And that has to do with this guy here, who is going to have a military collapse. And the military is going to kind of just overthrow their government. And then they're going to place a new king. And the new king is probably one of their like generals or something. And this guy will immediately get rid of all ties to the Square Alliance because he's pro Circle Alliance. Of course he is. You're either circle or you're square, I guess. And this will give a prime opportunity for a certain someone to enter into your territory. Yes, I'm talking about the guy to your south. Roman forces will begin to move in and they will very quickly occupy your capital. However, this is not going to defeat these guys because the Venetians are a little tougher than their neighbors, so they're going to put up a little bit longer of a fight. However, ultimately, they will be meeting a very similar fate as the country will completely collapse to the likes of the Yellow Team. And instead of them getting the same treatment as the Dark Blue country, they're just going to get fully annexed by the Yellow Team, as the Yellow Team doesn't see a point in keeping them around. And yeah, that goes to show that you should probably not leave the Square Alliance if you have a very hungry neighbor on your border. Anyways, we now head on over to Africa, where these countries are once again expanding on their knowledge because these guys like to explore around this area. And now we're going to see them going upwards, which is a change, into the Namibian kind of area here. And we're going to see a few explorers going ahead and beginning to settle into this region. Oh boy, am I struggling to find colors. What color should I make this? I might make it like a green color. Maybe like, um, I'm thinking maybe like this kind of color. I think that probably works for the region the best. I don't know, but we're going to see a new country forming here, and it's immediately going to expand down towards their other nearby neighbors in South Africa because, of course, trade is an important thing. And from here, we're going to see them connecting with South Africa because why wouldn't they? And now we're seeing the chain of these African countries expanding. And eventually, it might wrap around the whole thing. Who knows? But for now, that's irrelevant because we're heading elsewhere. And by elsewhere, I mean over to India, where we're going to see a war happening. The dark purple country and this new goldish country will be going to war over something. I don't know. They're going to be going to war over something. And yeah, the purple country is mad at the goldish yellow country for some reason, and we just don't know that reason. And we're gonna see the purple team launching a full-out offensive against the yellowish country here. Who knows why? I'm not going to go into it. You guys can make up your own lore if anyone cares. But yeah, we're gonna see the purple country absolutely beginning to decimate this country. And yeah, there's no shot this thing wins. And yeah, it's so bad that the government of this thing will just full up collapse, and the purple country will kind of just say, "Yo, you're a part of us now." And you can get rid of your flag. You can get rid of everything. You don't need that anymore. You don't need your capital anymore. That's kind of like ours now. So yeah, there is now one less country in India, and this region just got pretty scary again because, yeah, remember, this religion is a little competitive with this religion over here and also this religion here. Religious tension within this thing could cause a kaboom. Religious tension at this time period is probably not the best thing. Anyways, staying on that note, we've got to end this video, and why not do it a similar way in how we ended the last episode? And we're heading on over to the purple religion here, which has definitely been expanding on itself, following along the new borders of these countries as they move further in. And I'm just gonna like change the color so I can actually see. It's gonna spread throughout most of the inner regions here as it begins to spread along this half of what will probably become the Silk Road eventually. And yeah, from here, it's going to begin its spread into Southeast Asia. And at this point, they're going to see competitors as the Green Indian religion has also expanded down into this region just a little more successfully. And they have made their way into the Malacca country, and they're kind of mad about that. So the purple religion is going to kind of become split on what exactly it is meant for. And this is kind of a problem because the purple religion is very vast, and three different groups have three different beliefs. The group in the south believes that it needs to prevent the green religion from spreading into Southeast Asia. The groups in the north believe that it's none of their business, just let religion flow as it does. And the group in the center is kind of like we should mix in a way with these religions, as we're seeing in this capital right here, actually. The capital of the Thai country is like a mix of the two religions, and I find that pretty cool. I did that by accident, but yeah, we're basically going to see a split in the Chinese kind of religion over here. And it's going to start off over here in Korea, where we're going to see the first branch being created, as the Korean and Japanese groups will go ahead and leave in order to support the idea that it's not really any of their business and that it should be able to just operate the way it should, like always. Then there are these guys who want to get rid of them. They are going to take on a much different color because it's a lot more different. And yeah, this will see a large uh, appearance, I guess, in the southern region here because these guys, they fear the Indian religion in a way because it was just able to spread like that very vastly, and they don't like that. And for this region up here, it's gonna stay the same for now. Probably will for a while, so we're gonna turn that layer off. And now we can actually end this episode. And I do want to thank you all so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, make sure you do subscribe. Liking the video also shows that you like this type of content and you would like to see more. And I think that's all I have. Um, maybe. Oh yeah, I have a VODs channel that I upload my VODs on now. I'm probably gonna say this for like another week or something like that. But yeah, I stream quite a bit, not as often as I want to, but whenever I stream, I usually upload my VODs there. Maybe if it's like a reaction, I upload it on this channel, like I did with Minecraft Live and the TADC episode. So yeah, everything else will be on that channel. You could also alternatively watch me live on YouTube Shorts if you want to see it vertically. Horizontally, if you want to see me live, you can go follow me on my Twitch, which is linked in the below, as well as my VODs channel. And yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you all so much for watching.